Hello, my name is Cedric Ballard.
And I'm Kimberly Ballard.
And we're hosting our new show, Intentional Tuesday, every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. on It's All Gospel internet radio station.
Yes, so please be sure to tell your friends and your families to tune in every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m.
Listen, you better be ready because it's on.
It's on.
It's All Gospel. Hello. Hopefully all is well. How y'all doing? It is Intentional Tuesday. My name is Cedric Ballard, and this is
Kimberly Ballard.
Kimberly. So I am excited that we're here with you another week. Hopefully you've had a great week, had a great weekend over the weekend.
Yes.
Man, I can tell you right now, we had a phenomenal weekend. But before we go into it, can you hit the like and the heart buttons to let us know that you can hear us?
Yes.
Please hit the heart and the like buttons so that we can know you can hear us. Say hey to us. Hey, wave at us. Say something, do something. Let us know that you're on with us and that we are connecting with you. Yes. So I'm going to wait on for a few moments so we can kind of make sure we're all on the same page and we can hear one another and all that good stuff.
Now, don't forget to hit that share button either.
Hit the like, heart, and the share button. That's right. That's right. Put it on your page so that people can see that you are watching Intentional Tuesday. Of course, we are on every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. Also, we're on It's All Gospel. It'sAllGospel.com. If you go there, it's a website and it's an app actually, but it's internet radio. We're on the radio station called It'sAllGospel.com. Go there and we're on every Tuesday at 7 p.m. All right, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Just tune in, check it out. Prayerfully, you'll enjoy it and get something out of it.
Yeah.
I
was going to say, how you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good.
Good.
Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. The sun is out in Houston, Texas.
It's hot.
And thank God that it's, looking good. It's not raining like it was before and all that good stuff. But, it's doing pretty good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good today.
Good.
Feeling good.
Good.
Great.
That's good.
Excited about life.
How y'all feeling? Y'all good? Y'all all right?
Is everything okay?
Okay. If not, then just, chime in. Let's talk for a little while. And hopefully by the time we get done, you'll be all right. Okay? All right. Let us know where you're coming in from, where you're watching from. Please let us know. Let us know, y'all. Let us know. We would love to know where you're kind of letting us know where you come or you. I say call.
I mean, because you've been on the phone all day. So.
I don't know what that's about, man. I'm used to radio stations. That's still what I'm kind of on. So I'm still used to people calling in.
Call in.
Yeah, I know.
You're not calling in here.
I know, man. I know. It's just one of those things I'm used to now.
Oh.
So now that I'm used to it, I just kind of like call in.
Yeah. I mean, we only been doing Intentional Tuesday for how long now?
It's been a while.
That's amazing.
It's been a while.
And consistent. Been intentional about it.
Yeah, every Tuesday. This is the third one, I believe, this year.
Yes.
But we've been going since the middle or toward the end of last year, every week almost. Yes. We missed a few weeks here and there.
Well, we were fasting.
Yeah. So hopefully you in, y'all. We was waiting on you for a few minutes. Before we do a recap of the weekend, today, guess what today is?
What is today, Mr. Ballard?
Today is National Bubble Wrap Day.
Bubble Wrap
Yeah.
Day? They have a day?
Bubble Wrap Day.
Wow. Yeah. They really running out of stuff.
First of all,
Bubble Wrap Day.
It's nothing more fun.
Popping.
It's nothing more fun than popping bubble wrap.
The big ones.
Ain't nothing more fun than that.
Walking up behind somebody, popping it.
I've done nothing more fun than doing the bubble
wrap. Oh, yes, you have.
Yeah.
You've done something that's more fun than bubble wrap. Come on now. You've been extreme.
No, that pop does something to you, though. When you step, when I was little.
Well, I'll make sure I have some around the house for you.
No.
You're saying ain't nothing more fun.
When I was a kid. Okay. I mean, you used to put it on the floor, and you used to just jump and pop. Oh, that was just a thing.
So that's why you into like the fireworks and stuff like that,
What is
all the fireworks going on.
You like fireworks because you like to see, see it go up in the air and do all that. Not that I almost got killed by one.
Right. Go back and look at the video.
Have you ever got shot by a firecracker?
Okay, so I did one time. I don't think I was supposed to be popping the fireworks. It was like the, extra, what was leftover fireworks. And I went outside to pop it. And I got too close. It was old. I got too close to it. And the thing popped before I could move. And I couldn't hear out of this ear forever.
PTSD?
I don't have PTSD. I just said I could hear out this ear.
She been a victim of war. Shots fired.
Shots fired. Yeah, it killed my eardrum.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And your loud talking sometimes kills my eardrum too.
You can say it on.
And loud,
These last couple of weeks, if y'all noticed, these last couple of weeks, she been jabbing. Just, what I'm saying? But it's okay. It's okay. I just keep going. It's just one day at a time.
Press through.
Today is also National Corn Chip Day. It's like the corn chips, like the Fritos.
Oh, okay.
That kind of stuff. Corn chips,
Do we have any corn chips?
No, we ate them all.
You ate them all. I don't eat corn chips.
Yes, you do eat corn chips. You eat corn chips with your chili.
Can you stop telling my business?
Nacho chili, whatever you put in the dip in or whatever. Yeah. You have a whole
taco soup.
You have a big bowl of it too. I mean, a huge one.
Wow. Great. That's what I get, huh?
Full of nacho chip. Corn chip day. You should judge. That could be a day a few weeks ago. Matter of fact, that's shoot. Anyway.
Who comes up with this?
I have no idea, man. But
bubble wrap is taking me out of here. Yeah. Bubble wrap.
I don't know where that come from, but oh well. It is what it is. So look, y'all.
And today is National Intentional Tuesday.
National Intentional, but every week is that. That's right.
Yes.
So yes, hopefully y'all are on by now. Y'all have shared it and y'all have hit the like and all the heart buttons and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully you've done that. Please, please, please. Okay? Because we want to share with you all or give a praise report as relates to what happened over the weekend in Arkansas.
Yes.
We had the Night of Healing Worship Experience that went on in Jonesboro, Arkansas at the Fullness of Joy Ministries.
Beautiful ministry.
And man, I can tell you right now, it was a phenomenal experience.
Yes.
We really had a nice turnout. And I want to thank the Fullness of Joy Ministries. Yes. I want to thank Bishop Adrian Rogers for just being a good host. I want to thank Brittany Dukes for just putting this whole thing together, working so hard to try to make this thing be a success.
Beautiful job.
She did a great job, man. And so I want to thank her, thank the whole music team, the band, the singers, the praise dancers, all those teams in the music ministry. Thank the young lady who emceed and all the guests who came to sing, all that kind of stuff. But it was a wonderful worship experience, no competition. Yes. Nobody was trying to outdo one another. Everybody came together to just worship together. And so I'm excited about that because I'm telling you right now, I don't know what it would have looked like had everybody not came together and galvanized their efforts in order to kind of make sure that night became what it was supposed to be. So
yeah,
I'm glad about that. And so hopefully, when the Night of Healing Worship experience comes to a city near you,
yes,
you're present and you'll be able to kind of come and see what we're talking about. But before we go any further, we got just a little glimpse. I want you to kind of see, get a little tea taste. You know what that tea taste of what that looked like that night, man. It was great.
Yes,
it was great.
It was.
So let me go and do this, and then we'll be right back, y'all.
The devil thought he had me. Oh, I belong to God. Come on, say I belong to God. Yeah, I belong to God. The devil thought he had me. Oh, yeah, I belong to God. Say I belong to God. I belong to God. The devil thought he had me. I belong to God. The devil is defeated, yeah. I belong to God. Said the devil is defeated, yeah. I belong to God. Said the devil is defeated, yeah. I belong to God. Said the devil.
Yeah, all I can say is you would have had to be there. You would have had to have been there in order to kind of experience fully what that looked like and felt like. It was really, 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 really good. And, the people came with a mind to worship.
Yes.
And, we just really just honed in on just being intentional about, talking about the love of God and the grace of God. It was phenomenal. And 7 souls.
Hallelujah.
Came to Christ that night.
Yes.
Which is the most important thing beyond anything else. That was the main focus of why we did what we did. Not to sing, not to preach, not to praise dance, not to play an instrument.
Yes.
To win souls, period. And so, all that we do and all that we put together is for that purpose. Is to bring souls to Christ and connect them and start their journey of deliverance and salvation even. And we're just thankful, man. What was your favorite part of that weekend?
Seeing the excitement on the people's face. They were so excited about that night of worship and how the souls I enjoyed, being able to hug upon those that came to the altar and pray with them and, encourage them in the things of God. So that's what I really enjoyed most.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And I got to see my family.
Yeah, family. Kim's family came out and, they came out and supported. So we really appreciate that. And, man, just it was just a great weekend, man.
But that was their first time seeing us operating in ministry live.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah, that's true.
I was grateful for that support.
Yeah, that was good.
Yes.
And yeah, so I mean, like I told you, man, it was just a little snippet of what that night was like. There's nothing like being there, of course, but hopefully and prayerfully, like I said, when it comes to your city, you will be in attendance and bring someone with you, please.
And if you wanted to come to your city, reach out to us.
And if you wanted to come to your city, please do so. You're right. And the contact information is scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
As we speak.
As we speak.
Right.
Now contact Scholars up and set it up.
All right. Contact me. I'll make it happen.
Right. Okay. So that's a lot of announcements we've been giving. So let's go into tonight. Let's go and talk about a few things and We're not going to be on here too long, but we do want to touch on a few things, and then we'll be out of here, and we'll talk about what's going on this weekend. Yes. My wife did a post that sparked some interest.
Oh, yeah.
Interest that I believe is something that it has been talked about quite a bit. Something that is not necessarily taboo, but is not something that is openly discussed, right. But privately communicated. Okay. It's not something that you say a whole lot, but you hear it in private sectors, and when it's people, you're around a round table or at the dinner table or kitchen table or
arguments,
whatever. Yeah. Then this is a part of this, And so we want to bring it to you all. Y'all let us know what y'all think. Please, y'all, as you always know, we always welcome you to be in the comments. Yes. Comment about what it is we're talking about. This is a conversation. So you can definitely have a conversation. Let's talk through it. And let's see what you think, man. Let's just, let's see what it is. But the post was what?
It said, repeat after me. My husband comes before my pastor, and my pastor is not the head of my household unless he is my husband. What you think about that, Mr. Ballard?
Can you read it again? Read it one more time. Read it one more time. I just want, because I want everybody to make sure this sinks in.
It says, wives, repeat after me.
Wives, repeat after me.
My husband comes before my pastor.
My husband comes before my pastor. Okay.
And my pastor is not the head of my house unless he is my pastor. Unless he is my husband. Yeah. So wives, repeat after me. My husband comes before my pastor, and my pastor is not the head of my household unless he is my husband.
See,
I posted that, but I didn't think it was going to cause an uproar. But it wasn't a bad one, though.
It's a conversation that's typically had already anyway. Yeah. It's not something that is not been said or told or discussed or communicated in some capacity. Yes. I just believe that we're going to talk about it tonight, though. Oh. Now, let me say this, because there's a history behind it. And I'm going to go through it. I'm not going to deal with each one of them specifically, but I'm going to touch on them. And then we can talk about it further in the comments. But I'm just going to touch on it. Now, the black preacher or the black pastor, the black preacher, the black pastor, historically in the African American, culture, has been a very significant, very important figure.
Right.
Has always been.
Right.
Back in Africa, but definitely since Africans have been in America, the black preacher was the voice of the black slave and was the mediator for the white slave master. Okay? So I'm just saying, it was the black preacher or the black pastor, the person that they allowed to preach to the slaves, that was helping the white slave master indoctrinate slaves. Okay, keeping them oppressed. But it was also the black preacher who was giving the black slave hope that there was a greater day or a better day coming in the old by and by. So there was a way where the black preacher could go to the slave owner, white slave master, and say, please, don't whoop Harpo. Give him a break. Don't cut Kunta Kinte's foot off right now. Okay. And the white slave owner would say, well, use a good Negro. So Keep him under control, and we won't do this and such and such.
Keep him tame.
Okay. The black preacher had that kind of influence on the plantation. Okay. So in that essence, in that day, that made the black preacher or the black pastor very, very significant. Okay. Go and fast forward that further on, and I'm talking about fast forwarding it going into the civil rights movement. The black preacher and preachers were the ones on the front line. Not so much this in these days, but in that day, they were the ones on the front lines. Talking about how we need to, integrate, talking about how we needed to have equal opportunities, talking about how we need to be full citizens. We need to have voter rights. We need to have, I can go on and on. The black preacher was the ones. We talk about black preachers, no more significant than Martin Luther King.
Right.
Someone who was very significant in the freedom, or some of the more freedoms that we have as relates to voting and some other things. Black preacher had a very, very influential character in him and most of his team. Ralph Abernathy, Reverend Jesse Jackson, some of the other guys. Some, in Houston, Texas, we have the pastor emeritus of the Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church, Reverend Bill Lawson, who was working with Martin Luther King in those days. And I'm saying to you, it was the black preacher that had the voice. It was the black preacher that their mama would call and say, "My boy's acting up. I need you to call. I need you to talk to him." Yeah. And I don't care what mama said. When that black preacher came to your house, or she brought him to his office, you got yourself together. That was the day when preachers did house calls. Oh. Preachers used to come and check on the families of their churches back then. I know we're in the mega church era now, and even if you ain't got but 150 members, you still got a mega mindset, and so you don't.
They were paying for the mega church.
It's like, yeah, you could easily go and check on on the members of your church, and go to their house, and but that's neither here nor there, because times are different. I get it.
Well, and then sometimes they select who they want to.
Yeah, well, but they used to knock on the door.
Did.
Yeah, knock on the door. Hey, just checking on you, make sure y'all good. All right, need to see you at church Sunday.
Exactly. I'll call you on the phone.
All right, make sure everything all right. Okay, everything good. You need anything? The black preacher had a very, very, very significant place in the communities of cities around the world. Okay, the black preacher was the one for holidays, would give away stuff, for Thanksgiving, and give toys away for Christmas, and give money to the students when they graduated, and give money to the little kids when they got good report cards. The black preacher, I'm talking about historically. So when you see a post like this that you posted and saying repeat after me, not the black, but the preacher or the pastor is not your husband. For a lot of these women, single moms mostly, sometimes they, not intentionally, but they just kind of tend to fall into that role, of the man of the family. Not intentional. It's not like they're saying, "I'm going to be the man of your family, or your household." But that's the male voice you hear majority. You got to realize you hear him at least once a week, every week for the year. Some kids don't hear they daddy or uncle, or they hear their voice every day or every week. Unfortunately.
Right.
You know, it's just like that. And so the pastor has really been the major voice in most families' lives. That's not to say that that is refuting or going against what the post was. I'm just giving a historical context. And of course, y'all have your own story. You know, really, if you're older, you have a story of how significant the pastor or preacher has been in your community, your home, your family. You know, if you're younger, it may not be the same example, but it could be something that's, you know, your own experience. Because pastors in this particular day and era are not as involved as they used to be in families and with people on an individual basis, because now we have, you know, a pastoral team. You know, we have, you know, leaders, executive leaders, which is nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a different day. That's all it is. And, you know, it's still effective because you prayerfully have people on your team that knows how to execute, communicate, and work and deal with families. But in the context of what was going on or had been going on for years, especially when I was growing up, I mean, your pastor was in your life.
That was the male voice.
He was in your life. But
because at that time too, it was a lot of single mothers that were raising children. A lot of single people. Or the male wasn't in the church with the wife.
Yeah, that's true too. But even if the male was in the house with the wife and the kids, he was so involved in the church until he almost sounded like the pastor, because he would regurgitate or repeat everything the pastor would say. Because men, especially back in that day, the builders of churches back in that day, they were so connected to their pastor. And it was kind of one extreme or the other. They were either very connected till they almost sounded like their pastor, or they were so disconnected until they hated that y'all was going to church. Yes. And, you know,
and repeating
y'all gotta go to church again. Y'all going back there again.
And don't repeat anything that he said.
Yeah, don't want to hear nothing that man said. He don't run this house.
He don't live here.
Shoot. Yeah, you know, so it's just you know. But what is it though? When you read that particular post, what'd you get out of it?
Well, I think it hit me because I fallen victim to it.
Explain that.
You know what I mean? Because, okay, so just being transparent, being married, kids, dad, I had such a zeal to be back in church, in ministry, that I totally just didn't care how I lacked in the household. Not that I purposely tried to lack in the household, but I did, because I just feel like, well, I'm doing something good. So this ain't harming nothing. This ain't hurting anything. Right. But the whole time it was. Right. The whole entire time it was destroying my marriage.
Wow.
Because I allowed someone else's voice to trump being the husband voice. But it wasn't like something that you plan to do. You just fall victim to it.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, if you had somebody to say, hey, you might need to go home. You might not need to be here so much. You know what I mean? Then maybe things would have been different.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do fall victim to it.
Yeah.
And it's not going against the Bible. You're actually going the opposite way. When you feel like there's somebody else, if another man's voice is more louder than your voice, I'm in error. If I allow it to happen.
Right.
Because ministry begins in your house.
Yeah. Wow.
So
that's real.
Yeah. It hit me hard.
How many of y'all can relate to that? How many women can relate to that?
Because you have to practice ministry in the house. And the thing is, at the time for me, I'm with someone who is not involved in church, could care less about church. He loved God, but he loved God the way that he knew.
Right, of course.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So me not practicing at home, being there at home, I probably could have won them over.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's intentional Tuesday. What that is.
Raw.
Yeah. But see, but that's a lot of people who have that testimony with no malice, no real negative intent. You just love God. You want to serve God. You want to serve the people of God. And you get to this point where in your mind, you know, I'm doing what's right. You know, I'm serving the people. I'm in ministry.
Yes.
I'm giving God back what He's gave me, what He's given me.
Yes.
You know.
But people use church like, well, I ain't doing anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want me to be in church.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to love God.
Yeah, it's better than going to the club.
Well, it's better.
You say that all the time. You know,
and at least, you know, I'm going to carry myself in a certain manner, or I'm going to go so far with you because the love and the respect that I have for God. Because if I wasn't in church, baby, ooh, mighty God of Israel, it would have been horrible. Something going on. What's going on here? What's going on here?
The way you said that,
I just knew. I knew but you know, you're not in God. When you in God, at least you got some breaks. Mm-hmm. Outside of God, I had no breaks. I didn't care. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have a funeral. Your eyes go up. Bring them back down.
Hey. It is what
but
it
that's
is.
True. Like, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
That's true.
Being in God, it brought me back. You know, it's only so far. Because I remember a situation that happened in my life where I should have been in jail, honestly. Could have been in jail. Mm-hmm. And someone could have lost their life.
Yeah.
But God.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think we all kind of got a testimony like that, a but God moment.
Yeah.
That you know, that only and it may not have been a major relationship or a deep relationship with God, but you had enough relationship with Him or enough
you heard His voice
that you heard His voice.
Yes. Right? You heard His voice when He told you don't run over that person or don't do this. You know what I mean? So you heard His voice. Instead of putting the car in reverse, you just kept going and trying. You heard the voice. So I just thank God for being able to hear the voice. I knew Him well enough that I could distinguish the voice from I'm being so serious, from my flesh.
I like it.
You know, but seriously though, when it comes to marriage and ministry, we have to be able to understand our role as husband and wife when it comes to marriage and ministry, because a lot of people in ministry that are, you know, married, sometimes a lot lacks.
Yeah.
A lot. And they may not be vulnerable enough to talk about it, but you know.
Especially when you work in ministry. It can really dominate and really take control. And actually, it can be so much of you until it becomes you.
Yes.
And you don't even have individuality anymore. You know what I'm saying? Everything is connected to that. So now you're that. You're not, you know, that and you.
Right.
If that makes sense. You know, I am me. So there are some things I like to do. And even if that like to do is nothing, it's what I like to do.
Right. But do you think, like some people think that you should cut off ministry and then family? But ministry and family is all together. It's just a different component of ministry.
Mm-hmm. It's another side of you.
Yes. So you don't just cut off. Well, okay.
Because that's the wrong terminology. If anybody say you got to cut off ministry,
turn off.
Yeah, you don't turn that off.
You don't turn it off.
You know, if you don't see family as ministry, then you're approaching it the wrong way. And you'll approach family, if you don't see it as ministry, as something that is, you know, you just, you know, I have to do it. Instead of looking at it, I get to do it. Whereas, or vice versa. You look at it as something, you know, like, you know, you look at it just like you look at ministry. And if you look at ministry, sometimes ministry is a pull, right? But you do it, right?
Yes.
Sometimes ministry is hard,
Stressful.
but you do it.
Yes.
Sometimes ministry is something you got to think back and think through.
Mm-hmm.
You got to plan it. It ain't something you just get up, even though you may have a gift to do it, you still got to have the skill set and the tools to really be effective in it.
Right.
Same with marriage. Exactly. It all works together.
Your spouse is a ministry.
Right.
Cedric is a ministry. I'm a ministry.
Right.
So you have to understand the role of each ministry. Because you can't, I can't come teaching the children on a level that I would teach adults.
Mm-hmm.
So each ministry has its own role that you have to play.
That's right.
Or be a part of.
That's
not
right.
really play.
That's right.
Be a part of.
That's right. It is so important. I've heard a lot of people say you turn it off. You turn this off. You got to turn ministry off. You turn that assignment off so you can do the
And ministry is not family in church and that's us spending time together.
Mm-hmm. No, ministry is not.
That's not. Or vacation.
Or church is not. Because ministry ain't church within the confines of the four walls. And if we just leave ministry as what you do within the four walls of the church, then you're going to be limited to what you experience within ministry.
And how you minister at home is what's going to go out.
Yeah.
You go minister in other components.
Yeah. Ministry is abroad. It is not just within those four walls, which is sometimes we get caught up in. So, but as it relates to the post and saying that the pastor is not your husband, I think a lot of times we get it caught up because we've put our pastor in such a high level in our lives. Not that we shouldn't, but we have to compartmentalize in order to make sure that we put him or her in their proper place. Okay.
And it's not their fault.
No, it's not.
A lot of times it's not their fault.
No.
Not a lot of times. In some cases it could be, but not a lot of times it's not their fault.
Right.
Us understanding what your true role is as that spouse.
Well, I tell you what, I think what's so important, the more we talk through this, is we have to realize that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, we have to be very careful on how we listen to our spouse when they communicate about that thing. And then we have to be with someone who understands your assignment.
That part.
Now that's a big deal.
Because it's a lot of couples that are jealous, have a jealousy thing going on within their relationship.
That's right.
Because this person may be more influential than your spouse.
Yeah, because in most cases, what your pastor is giving and preaching and teaching is life.
Right.
It is bread. It is meat. Okay. It is something that is going to nourish you spiritually. But there's another part of nourishment that you need that only your husband can give you.
Can supply.
Hallelujah.
Glory to God.
Thank you, Jesus.
My God.
The most high God. My God today. And I need you to understand that's the nourishment you need.
That's about to take you out of here.
A good reverend ain't gonna be able to give you that now. I know we hear a lot over the news and we hear a lot of, but in most cases, that's not what's supposed to happen.
Amen.
There's a spot, there's a place that the pastor plays. And from a spiritual perspective, that's where he is.
Yeah.
There's another type of nourishment that you get within the confines of the marriage that you have to leave for him, and you have to give him time to give that and be that to you. Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, sometimes if you're not careful, man, I mean, it can dominate your life, and you will start seeing the things that what really should be the family or the marriage to start to decline.
Oh yeah.
Because you're giving so much of yourself in this other place.
And sometimes men want their wives giving more attention to somebody else, another man especially.
Man or woman. But
or especially a man who is empowered.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
They don't want that.
And no pastor should even put that in a person's mind. And even that it should be that way.
But sometimes it's not putting in their mind, but knowing that that's what it is, and you're not correcting it.
Yeah, but some of these guys
they do. No, they do. But yeah, I'm saying in some cases you have where they ain't purposely doing that, but you see that it's happening, but you're not correcting it as a leader.
Because they know that particular member or person is fulfilling a need that ministry is really in need of at the moment. I get what they're doing. But at the end of the day, you should be driving your members to have healthy relationships, because the families is what builds ministry.
And you can't be the only one with a healthy relationship, and everybody
most of them don't either, though. Yeah. So that's probably why they want you there, because they miserable and they
feeling a void too.
You know, I mean,
gotta talk to somebody.
And maybe it ain't misery that they're dealing with. Maybe it's just that they don't know nothing but church. So when they got church brain on their mind, they want you to have church brain on your mind.
You just have to be careful there, because it turns into some type of control situation.
Yeah, not every time I come through the door, you want me there. Yeah.
And then when I ain't
there, every time the church lights come on, you want me there.
And when I ain't there, you want to fuss.
No, what you should want, along with me being in my assigned place, is to have a very good family life.
Yeah, healthy.
Very healthy, whole family life. So that now when I come to your church, I ain't sitting up here, because you got several, reactions or responses to unhealthy marriages or unhealthy relationships. You can tell somebody going through something. Ooh, you can tell, Lord.
One of them.
You can tell.
How can you tell?
One way you can tell, that praise be some kind of different. It can be like super, she went in real hard this Sunday. You can tell, that crying, that right there. And let you, okay, what's going on? What's happening, baby? You working on something, or disconnected altogether during the worship experience. You rolling our eyes at everybody, acting like she totally distant and can't feel nothing.
You saying she? Sometimes be the man.
We're talking about the wives not making the preacher.
But I want you to make sure
about how you can tell when they got stuff going through. I'm just trying to stay close. I'm saying,
okay, you want to stick with that
with the text. Okay. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because the reality is, it is both ways. You can tell when people going through. You can tell when some ain't really on point. You can tell, and you can tell when it is. Now I know sometimes they fool you. Sometimes we can be fooled. And they can be lovey-dovey, but reality is, in private, it ain't really that. But in most cases, you can tell when it ain't right. And my biggest deal is that when it comes to what we're talking about, there has to be some intentionality as it relates to the person that's in ministry. I gotta know, I'm gonna be just as passionate when it comes to the family, or my wife, or my husband, as I am when it comes to the things that have to deal with the ministry, because they're all things of God.
Yeah, God is not going to call
it's all things of God.
I don't believe that God is going to call you to sacrifice your marriage.
That's right.
Sacrifice your marriage on the altar of ministry.
I agree.
I just don't think he's going to do that.
Yeah. I agree.
He tells us to love our neighbor as ourselves.
Right.
Our first neighbor is this person right here next to you. And if you can't love them the way Christ wants us to love them,
right,
then you've already messed up in ministry.
Yeah, I agree.
You already starting off wrong in ministry.
Yeah.
And the way you are responding at home is going to be a reflection outside of the home.
Yeah.
Of how the rest of the ministry going to go. It may look like it's going good, but if you don't get it right, it's not going to end well.
And then the next part of that was what?
But before you say something, even if you have a spouse that is not in ministry, ain't thinking about ministry, you still have your role you have to play.
Right.
That's your ministry at home. Can't be disregarded.
Yeah, because you don't want to pick them.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's like for me, I picked somebody when I wasn't saved.
Okay.
So, we just two unsaved people, and then I gave my life back over to the Lord.
Mm-hmm. That means you supposed to sanctify him.
But my thing is, I couldn't sanctify him because I was at church with that zeal, loving on God, and marriage falling to pieces.
So I really want to truly get y'all to get this. I want y'all to get this. Because at the end of the day, we're not saying being in ministry is wrong or there's a problem with being in ministry.
Just start your first ministry, which is at home. So you have to start it off right.
Just realize that ministry is not just the four walls of the church. No. It's not just that. No. Your ministry is also encompassing your husband, yes, your wife, yes, your children. Yes. It also encompasses all that. So when I say I'm doing ministry, I'm not just saying I'm going to the church house, right, and going to Bible study or going to a prayer meeting, yes, or going to, a shut-in or going to a revival or going to a conference or a convocation. Yes. No, it also means that me and Moy are going out to eat.
That's ministry.
Are we going out to have a fun day? We spending
quality time together.
And we at the house chilling.
Time,
That's ministry also as well.
Because sometimes you find that people get so caught up in everybody else's children, everybody else's life, that they neglect their own. Mm-hmm. And been a part of that as well. Mm-hmm. And I think it was just out of, them having a zeal too.
Yeah, I mean
having a zeal for God and caring about the souls. They cared about us, but they put the people before us.
Yeah.
But don't mean they don't love you. But just getting everything in its proper place is very important.
Yeah.
And it'll stop a lot of things from happening to the next generation.
Yeah.
Well, that are coming up, your kids and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They won't repeat the same things.
Well, I think for a fact that there's a lot of people that are on here right now that can relate to a lot of what we're saying, what we're talking about. At some point, if you've been in church for any length of time, you've done this where you've kind of been heads over heels about the ministry that you joined when you joined that church. And or even if you didn't join the church, join the ministry in the church, you joined the church and you just wanted to be there every time that the church doors open. Nothing wrong with it. Mm-hmm. Nothing, absolutely nothing. You enjoy the word, mm-hmm, you enjoy the worship, you enjoy the camaraderie. There's nothing like your church family. Right. Ain't nothing.
Everybody needs the church family now.
Family. Ain't nothing like it.
Everybody needs the church
you find, matter of fact, in some cases, you find a different level, a deeper level of relationship in your church family than your real family.
That's true.
The family that's blood that you grew up, in that family, so you find that.
Yes.
But you have to compartmentalize intentionally, mm-hmm, so that it won't become a situation where one, being your church family or your ministry and in the church, supersedes, goes beyond,
right,
what it is that you're doing at home.
Right.
They all are ministry.
Right.
It's all ministry. So just wanted to tap into that, because I know there's a lot of people that are on here that are church people or religious people, Christians that go to church, mm-hmm, enjoy church, enjoy the things that we do in ministry, but also want to make sure you understand that having a healthy family at home, healthy marriage, yes, healthy relationships, they help foster a greater, deeper relationship in your spiritual life.
Yes.
It all goes hand in hand, y'all. It all goes hand in hand. So, but the last part of that text is what I want you to read. The last part of that, just one more time.
The last part.
Yeah, you say.
And my pastor is not the head of my household.
The pastor is not the head of my household, which sometimes the pastor will make it seem like what they say trumps what was said in the house. You could hear tell them the pastor said.
And the pastor said, you better come here to what the pastor said.
Let me tell you something.
Patrick.
If I done told my wife that we doing such and such in this house, and my wife comes back and says, well, Pastor said.
I ain't crazy enough to do it, so can't worry about that.
Okay. Now, it's worth considering. But as a pastor, especially a male pastor, you might want to pass that word to me.
Ooh, mighty God.
Not through her.
Mighty God.
Because that's going to cause an issue with me and her. And it'll be your fault. Yeah, call me. Can I have his numbers? Okay. Or if I'm in the church, tell him to come to the office. Let me talk to him. But you passing that message through her to get to me? Mm-mm. I've seen a lot of fights in marriages because of that very thing.
The little side conversation.
Yeah, Because now my question is, how much conversation is going on? What are you telling this man about our situation at the home? What y'all talking about? And what else y'all got going on? You see how that's opening up a Pandora's box question?
That's something else too. As husband and wife, you gotta cover your spouse. You don't have to tell them everything.
Just because you're mad with them, you mad now. You want to tell everything, right? Yeah, you know how he do. You know how he act.
And the pastor looking out upside the head, coming up with a sermon.
Your pastor has preached on your husband so many times.
Or your wife.
You up here dancing, shouting,
hollering,
and waving your hand. That's right, Pastor. Preach.
Gave him a message.
Say it again. And your husband looking at you upside your head like, what? That's all right. Because we ain't stupid.
And then we got to get in the car and fight. Because it's going to be
Because you know the question. You get in that car.
So you had a conversation with Pastor.
You enjoy church today? Okay. Yeah, man. Music was good. Choir was good. I showed it preach. I really like part of what Daddy said about,
and you thinking you helping, you making a mess.
And
you made a whole mess.
Yeah, so tell me about that, because that show sounded like some.
Oh, especially if you're talking to a pastor who can't hold nothing. That's even worse.
I'm just saying, don't do that. As a pastor, don't do that. Or as a wife, because based on that text, the pastor is not the head of the household.
I just think to keep a lot of confusion, if you wanted to go and talk to a pastor about your marriage, I think you should come in together, not one.
Yeah.
Pastor cause a mess.
Pastors do have a very significant, important role in the family. They have hundreds of families in their congregations that are hanging on every word that they are preaching.
Important to give them the right word, though.
So important.
Yes, you got to
give them a word that keeps. Now, I'm not saying
a word that aligns to the word of God, not your opinion and what you feel.
And the word can sometimes be confrontational, and it can be something that challenges you. So nothing wrong with a challenging word, but don't let it be something that's based on some stuff that came into your office. Unless you have dealt with that particular group of individuals already, individually, preach to them together. That's
put it over the pulpit, immature.
So I would say that that can become a very touchy deal.
It can.
It can be a very touchy deal. I mean, it could be very touchy.
Mm-hmm.
So be very wise, ladies. Since that particular post was about ladies, be very wise. Not to say that men can't be in that same situation.
They can. Yes.
But the church is comprised of more predominantly women.
Yeah. And they're easy targets.
Yeah, so
just because you have a lot of single women that's in the church, a lot of divorcees in the church.
Yeah. But I want to say this. I want to go on record. We're not talking about any particular pastor at this point. We're not talking about anybody specifically.
Right.
I want to make sure I make that clear, because I don't want nobody saying, "Who they talking about you on Intentional Tuesday."
We know a lot of pastors.
We know a lot of pastors.
no one
And we've
pastor
been in
in
church
particular.
all our lives.
Thank you.
We've been in church all our lives. You know,
You're not the only person we know.
Yes, so I don't want any pastor that watches or hears about this thinking we were talking about them, because we're not talking about anybody in particular. You know, it's just our experience in church and the fact that we know a ton of preachers and pastors and been in church, you know, like I said, all our lives, and have seen so many things, worked in ministry, you know, behind the scenes, you know, as well as in the offices, and you just see and hear so much. And we know that based on those families and marriages and husbands and wives, how the church can impact a marriage.
Yes.
How leadership can impact a marriage.
Yes, exactly.
It's a lot that goes into it. So, you got anything else you want to touch on that, add to that?
Oh, I have a whole bunch, but we got to get ready to go.
Okay. Well,
so it might be a part 2.
Yeah, man. I guess so. I guess we have to do it.
We dig deeper into the, marriage and ministry, because you know that's something that we're doing.
Because we really didn't get a chance to go, you know, into the Bible on it, because you know I think I wanted to be more practical on this one, mainly because there's a lot of people on here.
But we have scripture.
Yeah, we got scripture on it, but you know, and we'll do that next time. But I do know there are a lot of people on here just on the surface of what we talked about have dealt with those things.
And it was asked that we kind of touch on that too, because of the post that I made.
Yeah. So blame all this on Kim. Basically,
and I accept
what I want to say.
It's okay. It's okay.
So,
because I told no lie.
But this weekend, y'all, weekend we'll be in Louisiana for a night of healing worship experience that's going on at the Louisiana Tech Student Center.
Yes,
I believe that's what it is.
Louisiana Tech and Grambling coming together.
Yes, it's going to be pretty dope. Pretty dope. So we're going to do a quick commercial about that, and we'll come right back right after the commercial, and we'll wrap this whole thing up. All right, y'all. Let me All right, y'all. We can't wait to see all of you that are in the Shreveport area, Bossier City area. You said Minden, you said Sibley, Ruston, Grambling,
Monroe,
all that.
Rayville.
All those cities, the little towns Tell all of them. Go get them. Tell them to come to the Night of Healing worship experience on the campus of Louisiana Tech. We want to see you there at 7 p.m. The information is down below, scrolling on the screen. Please be in attendance. We want to see you there.
Yes.
More importantly, we want to thank you for being with us tonight. Yes. We look forward to you being back with us on next week for another episode of Intentional Tuesday right here at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And don't forget, we're on It's All Gospel at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time every Tuesday evening. Okay? So we love y'all. We appreciate y'all, man. And prayerfully, you got something out of this and we can talk about it the next time we pick this conversation back up. All right?
All right. Good night.
Good night. Love y'all.